Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's good. Y'all know why you're here, man. Start sit lineup advice for week number 1. I'm telling you, I got you covered from week 1 all the way to the fantasy championships, just like last year. Do me that favor, though. You got to hit that like button and drop your start sit questions in the comments. Helps us grow this channel that much more, and I'll get you covered. I'm telling y'all, man, I do not lose. I win fantasy trophies every year, so I'm going to get you guys in the goods as well. Just do me that favor, hit that like button, and get in those comments. But let's start rapid fire. You guys know the drill. Arizona Cardinals taking on those Buffalo Bills. Kyler Murray in this new look Cardinals offense with a Trey Benson and a Marvin Harrison Jr. What are they going to do this year? We'll see. I don't think they're going to be overly competitive, but they will compete in a number of contests, this one included. Thankfully, it is in Buffalo for us Bills fans because the home field advantage is definitely going to be there. But Kyler Murray, low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere you got him. We know the rushing upside. He's going to start force-feeding a Marvin Harrison Jr. on the regular. Low-level risk for me for a Kyler Murray. James Conner and Trey Benson. I got TD upside for Conner, and I got medium-level risk for this rookie Trey Benson. I'm a huge Benson supporter. I think that this will be a very nice 1-2 punch, and I do believe that the Cardinals will utilize them as such. James Conner definitely has a TD upside this week, and going in every single week where it could be a change of pace for a Trey Benson, give him a little bit more speed. He will see his touches increase every single week. I do believe start Conner, and it's a judgment call start for a Trey Benson. I might wait one more week. If you have no better options, I get it. You can maybe throw him in your flex. RB2 is a little bit sketchy for me, so I'm going to keep him on the bench if it is my RB2. Marvin Harrison Jr., this rookie class we know is loaded, and Marvin Harrison is going to be unbelievable. He's going to get peppered with targets, going to showcase the fact that he is the best wide receiver to come out of this draft class, and the Cardinals got themselves an absolute gem. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, both on the low upside. I got a little bit more medium level risk for a Wilson on the yellow because I think there is going to be target share able to come his way. It's just not going to be sustainable for us this week. Trey McBride on the low level risk for me. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Greg Dortch only in deeper leagues if you need to. Atlanta Falcons taking on those Pittsburgh Steelers. Kirk Cousins, this new look Falcons team, man. You know what? I've been a closet Falcons fan for a long time. Buffalo Bills always my team, but I love what the Falcons always do. You know, going back to the Deion Sanders days, Michael Vick days, absolutely love what they do. Kirk Cousins on the mid-level risk, coming back from that Achilles injury. We'll see what he does. If you really waited for all your quarterbacks, or this is super flex leagues, I understand playing Kirk this week. If not, I would wait just to see how they do move. Mid-level risk, I still believe he's going to get you a boom game this week because he does have so many weapons, and this Falcons team is very encouraging. Bijan, low-level risk. You don't even have to discuss this one. He's going to absolutely do well this week with a lot of heaping of volume. Pittsburgh's defense is good, hence why I'm also saying, mid-level for a Kirk Cousins. Tyler Algier, low-level floor for me. On the red, you know what? It's one of those things they always say, he's going to have a role. He's going to have a role. For sure, he's going to have a role. I'm just not even looking in that direction here in week 1. Drake London, mid-level risk, only because the Steelers do have a good secondary and will make him challenge for the football. Absolutely start a Drake London, but don't be surprised if he does get locked down from time to time in this contest, and we'll see how Kirk Cousins does distribute the football. Darnell Mooney on the sleeper, low-level risk for me. It's sleeper upside, baby, because, they got to find someone else to pass to. Rondale Moore was sent to the IR with that broken leg, the gruesome broken leg injury. Somebody's got to be the secondary piece in this offense, and Mooney is still a very talented wide receiver, very much slept on, and he will destroy his ADP to return on investment. Sleeper upside for me. Ray McLeod, high-level risk, do not touch it, and Kyle Pitts on the mid-level coming off the injury, so they're saying he's good. He's off the injury report, and he's good to go this week. You absolutely play a Kyle Pitts. And just get your tissues ready because you may be crying. He might disappoint you, but I'm in this week. It's week 1, baby. We got to play the guys we drafted because that's how we drafted them. Buffalo Bills taking on those Arizona Cardinals. New look Bills offense. No Diggs, no Davis. Josh Allen still low-level risk. Fire him up because we know it is. He's not overrated. Boo for all of y'all that, all these players, man. How the hell do you call Josh Allen overrated? That's for another show topic. But anyway, fire up Josh Allen everywhere you got him. James Cook on the low-level risk because the Bills will continue to run this football like they showcased last year, and James will be a very good player for you this entire season. Ray Davis, rookie. I'm going to give him the low upside in the red this week only because I'm a creature. I need to see it to believe it before we actually, start promoting a lot of this. I mean, Ray Davis is a decent running back, but there's so many mouths in this offense, and we don't know how Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, is going to move forward with this offense. I think they're going to spread the ball around a lot. A lot of people believing that Josh Allen's going to run a lot. I think they're going to spread the football around a lot, and they're going to use their running backs to run the football. So Ray Davis is an interesting one. He might get some volume. I just want to see it to believe it. Khalil Shakir on the mid-level risk, probably the safest wide receiver out of this Bills room right now for PPR upside. If you have a flex option and you're struggling, I do not hate the start of a Khalil Shakir this week versus these Cardinals. Keon Coleman, rookie, TD upside. They're going to give him opportunities in that red zone, see what he can do with those jump balls. Got good hands, good ability. You got Moss appeal. So we'll see. Josh might just say, I'm going to chuck it up in your direction. Come down with it, young rook. And I think he will have a touchdown in his first game. Curtis Samuel, PPR upside plus volume upside on the mid-level for me because they're going to utilize him, I fully expect, in the running game as well. That's another reason why I got a low upside in the red for Ray Davis. I think it's going to be James Cook, and I think it's going to be a lot of Curtis Samuel. Even though he was dealing with that turf toe issue, he's good to go this week. So absolutely flex appeal for a Curtis Samuel as well. Mac Hollins on the low floor. Don't like it. Will not trust it. And a Dalton Kincaid. Fire him up everywhere you got him because it is probably going to be the best target share from this offense for any of these pass catchers. Carolina Panthers taking on the New Orleans Saints with a Bryce Young. I was, man, all offseason I was preaching to y'all that I'm a big fan of a Bryce Young and what he was able to do this offseason. You want to see growth and maturation. We did see a lot of that. Mid-level risk for me. Taking on a Saints defense that still is very, good and will challenge. There's going to be growing pains still for this young man, but at least he's got more weapons to feed the football to in Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette. I do like the fact that there is more ample opportunity for him to at least get the football out and find these young, talented wide receivers and tight ends on this offense. Chuba Hubbard, volume upside. I'm not playing a Bryce Young this week, by the way. Do not do it either, unless it is, super deep, super flex. I'm not touching that this week. Chuba Hubbard, volume upside in the green. Absolutely love it. If you want it, I think that, the volume's here, man. Miles Sanders has seen better days. He's a high-level risk for me. Chuba's going to see majority of the touches, and he should be able to break free, at least score a touchdown to get you over that 10-point threshold. Adam Thielen, PPR upside, likewise with a Deontay Johnson on the mid-level risk. If it's up to me, I'm playing Deontay over an Adam Thielen this week. But, I do believe that the first 5-6 weeks, we still will see a good role, good sizable role for an Adam Thielen, even though his career's on the latter stages, likely done, where they brought in a Deontay to be that guy, still has something of a dropping problem. It's very difficult to trust any of these gentlemen. If you have better options, definitely take him. If you have to choose, I'm choosing Deontay over a Thielen. Xavier Legette, rookie, low floor, only because we don't know how they're going to utilize him. He is like a Debo clone as well. As the season does move on, I do like the upside for an Xavier Legette in this offense. Bryce Young is no stranger playing with Bama and feeding wide receivers like a Jalen Waddle time. He had other wide receivers. I don't think he played with Jalen Waddle. I think I stumbled over myself there. But Xavier Legette is going to be one of these guys that he's going to be able to force feed on the regular. Once they get that chemistry building, I do like it quite a bit. Sanders, the rookie tight end, now because we got Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas out of this contest due to their ailments, I got a mid-level risk on this Sanders kid. He is good, man. If you guys watched any Texas Longhorn football, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's got ability for days. Very good hands, very good upside in the yak ability. He might see a lot of safety blanket tosses, mid-level risk. It is a risk to play him, but I do think he will return that for you this week. Chicago Bears taking on the Tennessee Titans. Everybody's excited, lifting up this, Chicago Bears club to believing they're going to be a playoff team. Caleb Williams, I'm going to give him the high upside on the low risk, man. He's going to throw this football. You know this. Is he going to have a couple picks, maybe potential fumbles? Absolutely. This could be possible because he is a rookie learning on the fly, and Tennessee did everything in their power in the free agent market to bring in more defense. But it's Caleb Williams. He's going to showcase the fact of why he was the first overall pick in this draft. I do like his confidence when he says, I don't get nervous. I believe him. I really do. I think that he can ball out in any given moment. His creativity is what's going to make him special. Caleb Williams on the high upside. DeAndre Swift and a Khalil Herbert. I'm going to give them both mid-level risks this week. I do. If you're starting any of them, it's obviously Swift over Herbert, but I'm going to give him mid-level risk. We got to understand how this offense is going to roll, how it's going to move. It is week one. A lot of things will change and morph, but DeAndre Swift over Herbert this week, even though we could see a lot of timeshare between the two of them in this contest. Keenan Allen, injury risk on the mid-level, even though he's he's likely suited to play in this contest. It might be, curtailed back with target share. We will see. It will be of the benefit to a DJ Moore and potentially a Roma Dunzier, but Keenan Allen, definitely if he is suiting up, he's going to get his 5 catches, probably 60 yards, and hopefully you get his TD to save your day. DJ Moore on the low-level risk. I think he's going to get peppered with the targets right off the bat because of the injury to Keenan Allen. And DJ Moore is going to pick up right where he left off last season. Absolutely fire him up everywhere he got him. Rome Odunze. I love me some Rome Odunze. One of the better. He was my top 3 wide receiver coming out of this draft with a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a Malik Neighbors. Love me some Odunze. And he's going to showcase why they drafted him as well. It's a learning process. Odunze is going to be able to learn from guys like Keenan Allen and uplift his game to be something of likeness as well. Odunze can make plays at any given stretch. And Caleb Williams has already built camp chemistry with him as well. Mid-level risk only in multi-flex leagues. I'm going to say yes, you play Odunze this week. Cole Kmet, TD upside on the green. I do believe the safety blanket appeal is here as well, but if he does not score that TD, he will cripple you. So if you got better options, take it, but there is definite TD upside for a Cole Kmet this week. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New England Patriots. Joey B, stud start, baby. This Patriot team is in disarray. They are rebuilding. There's not a whole heck of a lot to get excited about outside of their youthful talent that may potentially come and bear fruit. But Joey B, man, first time we've seen him through camp and preseason, and how long not get scathed with some kind of injury. It's a good one, man. Let's go. Start to fire up Joey B everywhere you got him. Chase Brown, Zach Moss, both on the mid-level. Going to see a heaping of volume share. Excuse me. In this running back room, they're both going to split touches basically all season long, you got to believe, until maybe a hot hand does take the role. This week, I am fading both these gentlemen. Do not want to play it, even though it is the New England Patriots. It's just going to be far too volatile for me to trust. Jamar Chase on the low-level risk. He is questionable, but it's non-injury designation simply due to the contract. He's going to suit up in this game versus these New England Patriots. And with news that T. Higgins is out with a hamstring, I told y'all earlier on the high-risk play, drafting a T. Higgins too high. These were the concerns. He is a Band-Aid of such, and he just cannot remain on the field when we require him. So this is why Chase should be, absolutely force-fed in this contest. You fire Chase up, obviously, everywhere he got him, but he could have a very big day. Jermaine Burton, rookie. He is going to be slotted in likely. Maybe an Irwin does slot in as well. They do mix and match the two of them. So Burton on the mid-level, because I do think his game is that good. He won't let Irwin come back on the field if he does see it. But I'm going to say mid-level, you cannot play it this week, but there is potential for decent points. Andre Yosevash is the biggest benefactor for a T. Higgins being on the injured report right now. Fire up Yosevash everywhere you got him if you picked him up, because flex appeal here in this offense versus these New England Patriots is absolutely real. He's going to have a very good day, I do believe. Mike Gesicki, high-level risk. Want to see it to believe it before I start preaching up tight ends in Cincinnati. Cleveland Brownies, we got Deshaun Watson. Sad news. I just saw, I believe his father had passed away. That is sad. Prayers up to Deshaun Watson and his family. That's not cool, but he's likely going to play this week, and it's going to be with a heavy heart. What do guys typically do when they got a heavy heart, or if they got some exciting news, family news? They really do play that much harder. Deshaun Watson on the mid-level risk, but he should absolutely exceed that versus these Dallas Cowboys, even though the Cowboys have a pass rush for days. I think Deshaun Watson's going to dissect this field and do very well at it. Mid-level risk, super flex leagues, absolutely you fire up a Watson. Jerome Ford, low-level risk. He's going to be the bell cow once again in this backfield, waiting for a Nick Chubb to return, even though Pierre Strong will see his volume as well. Jerome Ford is already established as a reliable, three-down type of running back who can catch passes, run the football, and put up a lot of big points. Fire up Jerome Ford everywhere he got him. Amari Cooper, revenge game versus these Dallas Cowboys. These never get old. I'm telling you all, fire up Cooper, because he's going to want to showcase the fact versus former team that he can still stick it to him. Elijah Moore on the high-level risk, not touching that. Jerry Jeudy, sleeper appeal on the mid-level. If Jeudy fixed his hands, there's looking for that secondary wide receiver to give this offense some oomph, and I do believe that Jeudy is going to do it. I'm still believing might be to my demise, but I think sleeper appeal on the mid-level is definitely fair this week. And David Njoku, I'm firing him up everywhere I got him on the low-level risk because he showcased the fact last year that he's finally reached that plateau that we wanted to see, and hopefully he continues down that path. Those Dallas Cowboys taking on those Cleveland Brownies. Dak Prescott, low-level risk. You know they're going to be throwing the football a lot in this contest. If you have Dak, you suit up Dak because they are going to throw the football a lot. Because I don't like this running back room, Zeke Elliott and Rico Dwaddle. I'm not a fan, man. High-level risk for Zeke. He's cooked. We know this. Maybe he gets goal line. Maybe he gets, 10 touches in a game. I'm not in it, man. Rico, on the other hand, they say they want to establish the run in Dallas. Good luck to you because I don't foresee that happening a great deal. Dowdle is a decent running back. He's not a great running back, and he should see volume upside, so I give him a mid-level risk this week, as I do believe he will dominate the touch share from the backfield. CeeDee Lamb coming off his contract. Fire him up everywhere you got him. He's going to be hungry. He wants to play, and you know they're going to continue to force-feed the football to a CeeDee Lamb. Brandon Cooks still has a TD upside. Believe he had 8 TDs last year. He will still be relied upon in this offense, especially with no Michael Gallup. Now there's no reason to look to Gallup's side, as it almost felt like they were just trying to get Gallup the football. Stick with CeeDee Lamb, stick with Brandon Cooks, and then distribute the ball, to others as needed. But with the running game that could be piss poor this week, especially versus a Browns good front seven, I think they're going to throw the football a lot in this contest. And Jalen Tolbert, high-level risk. I mean, I've been a Jalen Tolbert fan for a while. I think he's good quality. Is he great? No, but I think he could be a reliable secondary piece, cheaper option than a Michael Gallup. And Jake Ferguson on the mid-level risk. I had him on my boomer bust as a bust. I think a TD is the only thing that saves his day. If you got Ferguson, I understand playing him because Dak utilizes the tight end quite a bit, but I would look for other options this week. Denver Broncos taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Bo Nix, the rookie. Okay, and I mean, a lot of people are excited about it. They gave him the captain, y'all, if you believe that. I believe it was only Floyd, the running back, way back in the day, the only 2 rookies in Denver Bronco history to be earning of a captain seed, man. Unbelievable how much they believe in this. Bo Nix, I got my doubts. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. And if I'm wrong, like I told y'all, I'll always eat my words. I'll give him mid-level risk versus the Seattle Seahawks. Even though the Seattle Seahawks secondary is good, I think they will, at least challenge Bo Nix to at least, make a lot of mistakes. We'll see now. It's week 1. No more preseason. We'll see how Bo does. Mid-level risk for me. I'm not firing him up this week. Javonte Williams, volume upside. If you're looking for running back upside on the volume, absolutely. Vontae is going to be your guy. He's going to see a lot of volume in this offense, but it will be curtailed by the PPR upside of a Jaleel McLaughlin. He's got some safety blanket appeal as well. Screen plays, check downs, late in game. If they are losing, we could see a lot of McLaughlin. So flex appeal, he could save your day that way as well. But I'm definitely looking at other options as well. Cortland Sutton on the mid-level risk. How many times did we have to wait until the fourth quarter in garbage time for Sutton to do something? I am not playing him this week. You got to see how Bo Nix is going to do in this offense. Likewise with a Marvin Mims, high-level risk. Josh Reynolds, high-level risk. And then an Adam Troutman, high-level risk. I am not touching this Broncos offense this week versus Seahawks, even though they could, get some garbage time productivity. And if Bo Nix does actually look like he is the real deal, then I will change my thought for next week. But I'm moving on from these Denver Broncos. Detroit Lions taking on the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. You got to love it, man. Revenge game for a Jared Goff. You know this Lions team is ready to go. They're going to be challenging for that Super Bowl. You know this. Jared Goff, absolutely fire him up versus old squad. This Detroit Lions team is going to be fun. It's going to be high octane, especially if they can get a guy like J-Mo to be, what we all think he's going to be. Jared Goff should be very good. TD upside on the low level for a David Montgomery. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Gimme on the low level risk. We saw it last year. They're going to run the football a lot, and they're going to use this tandem approach. It's not one or the other at this point. They're going to utilize them properly like we saw last year. You can absolutely play both these running backs in this offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I could almost give him a stud start here, but I'm going to play it safe a little bit and say low-level risk, even though you're playing him. 93% on the boom rate last year for an Amon-Ra. He's just killer. He is automatic, and you fire him up, obviously, everywhere you got him. All right, no Aaron Donald anymore. That's something to say as well, so the rushing upside for these running backs will be there as well. Jameson Williams on the sleeper mid-level risk. I love J-Mo, and I think this will be his breakout season. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I really, truly believe it's going to be that way. He looked a lot better, a lot more comfortable in camp in preseason, making those catches, getting his routes clean. He is fast. I want to see it, and I think with an added, weapon with this amount of speed and ability, this offense is going to be that much more dynamic. If you have JMO, it is a risk, but there is sleeper appeal. Khalif Raymond on the PPR upside, low-level risk. They use him in gadget plays, sweep plays, drag routes, slants. So, pick your poison. Only supremely deep leagues will you trust that. I'm not playing that anywhere else. Sam Laporta, like an Amon Ra, absolutely fire him up everywhere you got him. Houston Texans taking on these Indianapolis Colts. CJ Stroud, and I love me the Texans. CJ Stroud's my dude. Low-level risk against his Colts offense and defense. That is okay. You know what? They're improving as well, but I think head and shoulders, CJ Stroud is absolutely going to carve them up again on the defensive side. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Joe Mixon on the TD upside mid-level. We may not see the top-end volume in week 1. We could see a lot of PPR work, and we should see a TD inside the red zone. Fire up Joe Mixon everywhere you got him. Dameon Pierce, no bueno. He's on the high-level risk for me. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, fire both them up, man. I'm telling y'all, TD upside, low-level risk for a Nico, and I do believe PPR upside with some yak ability for a Stephon Diggs is definitely on the horizon. Love what this could be here. And then Tank Dell on the mid-level high upside level play. There's so many mouths to feed. Can they all eat every week? No. So I'm going to say this week Tank Dell is going to get his share. So unless Tank actually scoots his way into the end zone himself, I think the majority of the share is going to go to Diggs and a Nico Collins. Indianapolis Colts taking on those Houston Texans. Anthony Richardson. Rich, he's got the rushing upside on the mid-level risk. And, my concern is the limited amount of throws this man has in his entire career. It is a problem for me. I want to see a little bit more. It is a concern. I think he's a good quality quarterback. He's got an arm, a cannon for days. He's just got to figure out that accuracy, and it's going to come with reps. They should be able to at least move this football via the run and hopefully get these guys open. They got guys like Adonai Mitchell to help support this offense, which will only be that much better. Fire up an Anthony Richardson based on the rush upside, absolutely. Mid-level risk for Jonathan Taylor. This Houston Texans defense is for real. JT's going to struggle for some part of this day. He is. Maybe he finds his way to Gallup free through the line, but the added pieces on the defensive front, the linebacking core, and the secondary is all put together, and the DeMeco Ryans, he's going to bring the bum rush on this run attack. Mid-level risk. You still got to fire up JT because you drafted him so high, but watch out for potential bust appeal, man. Trey Sermon, high-level risk, not touching it. Michael Pittman on the low level. We know he is the number one target still in this offense, and that should continue. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Alec Pierce is playing only due to the Josh Downs injury. He is out of this contest with an ankle, not playing a Pierce. But Adonai Mitchell on the mid-level, good upside. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. Flex appeal for me for this rookie as well. They are going to test this Houston Texans defense down the field to open up lanes for a JT. This is coming. We're going to see a few of those go down the field. So AD, if he does catch one of them, he could find his way into that end zone as well. Flex appeal with good upside on the mid-level. And then Kylan Granson, high-level risk, not playing it. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Miami Dolphins. Trevor Lawrence, man, T-Law, this is a big year for these Jaguars because they just paid a Trevor Lawrence. Is he ever going to meet, the number one overall pick in the NFL draft? There's a lot of people concerned. I am somewhat, but I do believe that this will be a better season than we have seen from T-Law. Mid-level risk only because the Dolphins' defense is relatively good and they got a good secondary, but Trevor Lawrence should be able to at least move the football quite a bit. Travis Etienne on the low-level risk for me. You fire him up, obviously, everywhere you got him. Tank Bigsby, no bueno, high-level risk. Don't like it, won't touch it, man. Christian Kirk, high upside in the green. He's the number one target outside of an Evan Ingram. Best chemistry for a Trevor Lawrence. Fire up Christian Kirk everywhere you got him as well. What do we do with Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie? Low floor for a Gabe Davis on the mid-level. It's boomer bust appeal for Gabe. We got to see how he's going to fit into this offense. I still like a Gabe Davis. I still believe in his ability. I think that he can make this offense that much better. He's an 800-yard wide receiver, 8+ touchdowns in this league. He can absolutely be that here in Jacksonville. Will it happen week 1? I think they're probably going to hedge to the side of the rookie Brian Thomas to see what he can do first. So I got TD upside for Brian Thomas. If I'm playing either one of them, it's Brian Thomas over a Gabe Davis. Evan Ingram, low-level risk, PPR upside, massive for this man. Even with Christian Kirk back, he's going to eat every single week. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, and the MO for the Chargers this year is going to be potentially a lot of garbage time. I don't understand how the Chargers are favored in this contest. I am a Herbert supporter through and through. I think he's a fantastic quarterback, and I got him on the mid-level, but there could be a lot of garbage time productivity. The the Vegas Raiders defense did uplift the front seven, and they will bring the pressure. We had seen, issues with this offensive line here with the Chargers. Don't be surprised if the Raiders win this contest because of how good this defense has been playing. Max Crosby's playing like a man possessed. Justin Herbert's going to be running for his life quite a bit, so that's why I got him on the mid-level right now. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, who do you trust in this backfield? Obviously, you got to go with Gus Edwards. They're going to go with the first, kick at the can to say that Gus can at least take the volume, bigger running back, take a lot of punishment, and have some TD upside. We're going to be pleasantly disappointed when it comes to the end of season because a lot of people overdrafted a Gus Edwards. I don't think he's a true three-down back. I don't think anybody does, hence why they got a J.K. Dobbins to recreate the Baltimore Ravens backfield. I'm going to give myself J.K. Dobbins 1 week. I'm going to say low floor this week, but I really wanted to put him on the mid-level risk right now that you could almost play him as your running back 3. It's a very interesting situation. If he is healthy, he is a good, talented running back, but the big if, can he finish a season? That's what we all understand. So for me, play Gus Edwards, bench a JK this week, and let's see what happens. Josh Palmer on the volume upsides, the wide receiver 1 on this offense. Absolutely play him in your wide receiver 2-3 flex options because he can be having that heavy PPR upside. Quentin Johnston on the low upside, high level risk, don't like it. Ladd McConkey, PPR upside. This man will eventually be, the replacement for a Keenan Allen for safety blanket appeal, get a lot of catches, and then you know what? He's going to be like, 1,000 yards, 950 yards. That's kind of what you're going to be. What is his TD upside going to be? That's the question mark that I do have. So a PPR upside on the mid-level is definitely fair. And then Will Disley on the mid-level risk. He utilizes tight ends. Herbert does quite a bit, so we'll see. I'm not playing Disley this week, but I still got a mid-level. They got to throw the football somewhere, and I think Disley could be a nice feature in this offense. Los Angeles Rams taking on the Detroit Lions, like I said, on Sunday Night Football, revenge game. Likewise for a Matthew Stafford, fire him up as well. Last time these guys played, I believe, was the playoffs, so they're going to put up a lot of points. Rams still can move the football in high-octane efficiency. Absolutely play a Matthew Stafford in week 1. You may not get a better, healthier Matthew Stafford than week 1, so take advantage of that opportunity. Kyron Williams, low-level risk. Returning punts, man. What are y'all, crazy? And you know what it is? I think they believe in Blake Corum a lot, too. And I think we could see a lot of, carries dialed back for a Kyron, save him from himself, from the medical room. And we could see, as the year does go on, a lot more split touches. Week 1, it's going to be Kyron's show. Fire him up. Blake Corum, I'm putting him on the bench this week, even though I'm giving him a mid-level risk. Just too difficult to trust. If you got the kahunas to play it, I say, okay, no problem. For me this week, it's mid-level risk, and I do think his role is definitely increasing. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, low-level risk. Fire them up as well, even though the Lions did improve their defense. You can play these two gentlemen because they are just that damn good. They get open anytime on the field, and Matthew Stafford will hit them all. Demarcus Robinson, low upside. You're not touching that. And then Colby Parkinson, sleeper appeal on the mid-level. No Tyler Higbee. He's on IR for 4 weeks. Higbee may not get his job back, man. Parkinson was signed in this offseason, and he is a decent one. Could be exactly what the Rams are looking for at the tight end. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the LA Chargers. Gardner Minshew, Mustache Minshew. Okay, can it be worse than an Aiden O'Connell? I mean, O'Connell at least was just chucking that football all over the place. Gardner Minshew, 3,500 yards, 17 TDs, career highs. I mean, can we see him uplift this offense? Probably not. I mean, he's got weapons. He's got, players to help him and help the cause. So just get these guys the football. We know what Minshew can do. He's very, reliable in that sense in football terms, maybe not in fantasy terms. You're not playing a Gardner Minshew, but he could uplift this offense for everybody else to eat, including a Zamir Zeus White volume upside on the mid-level risk with Alexander Madison on the mid-level risk. I was kind of, I'm a Zeus guy. You know this. I love me some UGA running backs. Always will, especially when they play like a Zamir White. It's just we got to understand how this volume is going to get spread out. Alexander Mattison, it was brought in to at least, appease some level of a split backfield, and I think it's going to continue at least early on. Zamir would have the first crack, kick at the can. Mattison should see a decent share of that. Devontae Adams on the low-level risk. If we saw him crack the numbers he did last year with somebody like Aiden O'Connell, he should be able to do that as well this year. Could it be the consistency rates is why I dropped him down my boards on my ranks in terms of ADP for draft? Yes, but I do think that he will have a good game versus Chargers defense. Jacoby Meyers, PPR upside on the low-level risk. Fire him up as well. I think that these two gentlemen should be able to at least get the football from a Gardner Minshew on the regular to support a decent fantasy day. Trey Tucker, high-level risk. I love me some Trey Tucker, just not this week. I want to wait till like week 4, week 5 until we understand exactly what's going down with these Raiders. But Trey Tucker is definitely one put on your watch list for waivers. Wink, wink, man. Brock Bowers, he was coming off that foot injury. He has been taken off, and now we can upgrade him to a mid-level risk. This rookie, man, generational, quote-unquote. I know we throw that term around, but he is one of these dudes. He's going to be unbelievable in this league. He is so good, and I think he's going to make a lot of these people better, hence why I got a low-level risk for Devontae Adams. He's finally got some support in this wide receiver pass-catching rooms, no question. Michael Mayer, high-level risk, not touching it thanks to a Brock Bowers. Miami Dolphins taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tua, low-level risk, man. Jaguars got some issues still on that secondary, and Tua can at least support the football. He can support his wide receivers. And we know that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle dealing with injuries this week. They are clear to go. Tyreek on the low-level risk. Jalen Waddle high upside on the mid-level. I want to see Waddle break out of what happened last year. Yes, he still got over 1,000 yards, but it was such a drag of a season. Like, what is Waddle going to do? And this was the problem. This week, you can play Jalen Waddle. You're obviously playing Tyreek Hill. I don't mind those two gentlemen in your rosters whatsoever because I do believe Tua is going to spread the football around quite a bit. Raheem Mostert, Devin off the A-chain, TD upside on the mid-level for a Mostert with low-level risk for an HN. You got to know they're still going to split these touches. They're going to play the ball exactly like they did last year. High speed, high velocity, and Mostert's still going to have his role. You got both these gentlemen. Fire them up everywhere you got them as well because change of pace and a hot hand will definitely play key in this offense, in this running back room. Jonnu Smith, I'm not even going to talk about Braxton Berrios because he doesn't belong. I mean, okay, we had Malik Washington. I was hoping he was going to suit up in this contest because he is a very dynamic rookie as well. But Jonnu Smith, definitely one of these guys. Watch out for this sleeper appeal. TD upside here for days. They're looking for that supportive piece in Miami to take a lot of the pressure off, and Jonnu Smith has been known to have games, and I think in week 1 they're going to utilize this because nobody knows what he is in this offense, so get ready for that one. Jonnu could have a very decent day. Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Giants. Sam Darnold, low floor. I'm mid-level. I'm not playing it. I don't care. I don't care that he's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Addy. He's got weapons. It's Sam Darnold. Prove me wrong, Sam. If I'm wrong, great. Then you know what? At least you can potentially resurrect your career here in Minnesota. I got to see it on the field. I'm still believing Sam Darnold's going to be seeing ghosts from time to time. But at least he should be able to support the likes of a JJ. Aaron Jones, PPR upside in the green. Absolutely fire him up everywhere he got him. And volume risk for a Ty Chandler on the mid-level. He should be able to at least get his sprinkle of touches, but with a healthy Aaron Jones, it's going to be more difficult to get on the field. So Aaron Jones, absolutely Ty Chandler. Keep him on your bench at this point. JJ, low-level risk. You obviously firing him up because he's going to make Sam Darnold look like Joe Montana out there. We know this. Jordan Addison, he was dealing with injuries, off-field situations this offseason. Mid-level risk for me. I do love me some Addy. I just don't like Sam Darnold. Can he support all these weapons? I don't believe so. But, I mean, if he, again, prove me wrong, I'll be okay to promote you after that. Jalen Naylor, low floor on the high-level risk. And then Johnny Munt, the mid-level tight end. I think this is where it could be, man. Munt could get his sprinkles of catches, potential touchdown in the red zone, get you 8 points. Because Sam Darnold's going to be looking for that safety blanket, no question, and the checkdowns could come to him, but I'm not playing that either. It's going to be interesting to see how this Minnesota Vikings offense does move with a Sam Darnold. New England Patriots taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Jacoby Brissett, high-level risk, not liking it. Bengals, they will make him pay and earn for everything. We know Jacoby is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's a reliable quarterback. He's not one that's sustainable. It just is what it is, man. They don't want to throw Drake May to the Wolves in week 1. I understand. You play the veteran, you let him see what he can do. High level risk, we're not touching it. Ramondre Stevenson, everybody gets a downgrade in this offense this season for me. Dre's my dude. Love me some Ramondre. He does have PPR upside. He's going to have volume upside. Mid-level risk. And the risk is also they brought in Antonio Gibson. That's going to take away some of the PPR work for Ramondre. Don't like it whatsoever. We'll see how they do move in this offense this year with Gerard Mayo as the head coach. Mid-level risk for Ramondre. I would play him likely because you could see garbage time productivity as well, and it could be plentiful, man. Antonio Gibson dealing with an injury, not touching that. And then this wide receiver, this I don't want to say sorry room of wide receivers, but it is a sorry room of wide receivers. Taquan Thornton, KJ Osborne, and Douglas and Jalen Polk. At least they're moving in the right direction when it comes to the youth movement at the wide receiver spot. Douglas is speedy. Polk is nice. Baker's got some appeal, but apparently he fell down the board. Kayshon Boutte. Will it ever be a thing with him? I don't know. I think Osborne is probably your safest bet in this offense for the PPR game, safety blanket game. Brissett will test his defense down the field to a Thornton, but I'm not touching that either. Douglas, mid-level risk. Again, he was at least electric, explosive, and able to make plays by himself. With him and Osborne, I think that's going to be your 1-2 punch in this offense at the wide receiver room early on as Jalen Polk gets his feet wet. And then Hunter Henry on the mid-level risk. He's going to hit you maybe a boom 1 out of 3 games every this season. So definitely play with caution this week versus Cincinnati. I'm not a big fan of this New England Patriots offense overall. New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. Transition is coming here in New Orleans. You got to believe, man. Derek Carr, this is the last season for him if he does not perform. They will go ahead with a Spencer Rattler, who is also my dude. I love me some Spencer Rattler. But let's see what a Derek Carr does this season. Mid-level risk. We know Derek Carr can support an offense. We know what he can do. He just can't get in the end zone for some reason here in New Orleans, and it's a big problem. Definitely caps your upside. Mid-level risk for a Derek Carr. I'm looking in other directions. Alvin Kamara, okay, there is a lot of speculation. Alvin has lost a step. I am not in that camp right now. He still looked good last year. Lots of tread left in those tires. Low-level risk, fire up Alvin everywhere you got him. Jamal Williams, high-level risk. I mean, the TD upside never came from Detroit like everybody had envisioned, and they will continue with an Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave, CO2. He's one of these dudes, quarterback proof. You can fire him up everywhere you got him. Just pray that he gets in the end zone a little bit more this year. We want to see 8 touchdowns. He's over 1,000-yard wide receiver every year. Doesn't matter who his quarterback is. Just get him in the end zone at least 8 times to get him into the top 15 of wide receivers. Rashid Shaheed, he's got mid-level risk because he is a boomer bust speedy candidate down the field. But the way they scheme up this offense, we know how this is going to go, man. It's like they do this every single year. Run the football with Kamara, run the football with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill vultures touchdowns. Chris Olave catches passes. Who else is going to be helping in this offense? This is the problem. Rashid Shaheed, I'm not playing this week versus Carolina. Their defense is still good enough to at least stop that. A.T. Perry is definitely a guy I'm looking toward to take that Michael Thomas role and run with it. He's got appeal. He's got, good hands. He's got some hops, some jumps. He's got some good, toe drag swag. He's got ability. I do like me A.T. Perry. He could be a big-time waiver wire get as the season does go on. TD upside for a Perry this week. Taysom Hill, medium-level risk. He's going to vulture touchdowns. That's how he's going to save his days. It's hit and miss with him. If you got the ability and the kahunas for that as well, absolutely do that. Juwan Johnson, low floor on the mid-level risk. Just hasn't panned out to be that reliable target that we hoped for here in New Orleans. Will it change this year? I want to see. Not touching it this week. New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Daniel Jones, Daniel Pennies. You burned me before. I mean, I was never a fan of Jones coming off an ACL. Apparently, he's dating Kay Adams. That should, put some feather in his cap. But I'm saying at this point, I can't play Danny Pennies. This is going to be an ugly season. You got to think for these New York Giants. Sorry, guys. I don't foresee a lot of good things coming your way. At least you got a guy like Malik Neighbors to give you some upside. Daniel Jones, low floor on the mid-level, not playing it, not touching it. Devin Singletary Motor, former Buffalo Bill. We know, volume upside. He's shown what he does. 200 touches, 250 touches a season. gets you, 1,200 total yards. That's him, man. He's going to do this again here in New York, and you know that Brian Daboll is very familiar with a Singletary. He knows how to use them, and they will continue to do that. Tyrone Tracy did get bumped off the injury report, but I think they're going to roll with an Eric Gray. He's got low upside. There will be split touches. Devin Singletary, yes, you can play him as your running back 3, or maybe your running back 2, low-end running back 2, potential flex opportunities as well. Malik Neighbors on the mid-level risk, but I'm playing him this week because I do believe a TD is coming. They will force-feed this man. They want to see what he's going to do. You got Malik Neighbors. You throw him in your lineup and just wait and see because this kid is special, and he will showcase that. Jalen Hyatt, boomer bust, and the high-level risk. Wandale, low floor, not touching it. Theo Johnson, high-level risk. And Theo's definitely one you got to watch as well. This kid is so good. Once he was dealing with an injury this offseason, but once he gets all that figured out, finally, can get on the field, get some touches. I'm telling y'all, this kid is so good, and he will make everybody be like, who the hell is this guy? Where'd he come from? Theo Johnson, you know the name. I'm telling y'all, get ready for it. He could be a very good tight end in this league. New York Jets taking on the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Got to take a breath, man. It's a lot already. Aaron Rodgers, mid-level risk. I want to bump it to a low level because I do believe AR is going to come back. He's dying to play, man. 3 plays or whatever it was last year, tears his Achilles, and now he gets to play in the lights of Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers is going to play football. I'm telling y'all. Fact is that he still is, very highly undrafted in a lot of leagues, sits on that waiver wire. It's crazy talk, man. I understand the fear. He's older. He's coming off of a very severe injury. This offense in New York is going to move through Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson, and these 3 gentlemen will be fixtures in this, fantasy football leagues this season, no question. Fire up Aaron Rodgers if you have him. I think he will do very well versus these 49ers. Breece Hall, without even questioning, fire him up everywhere you got him. Low-level risk, man. PPR upside is definitely here for him as well. As he showed last year with over 70 receptions, he will do it again on the regular. Braylon Allen, high-level risk, but he is definitely one to watch. Could be a TD vulture here for these New York Jets. Huge fan of Braylon Allen. Hate the fact that he's on the Jets. I wanted the Bills to get him, damn it. James Cook and Braylon Allen would have been music to my ears. Okay, fine. Brandon Beane doesn't want to listen to me. I understand. Garrett Wilson, low-level risk. Fire him up. No need to even debate that one. Xavier Gibson, high-level risk. Mike Williams, high-level risk. Not playing it. We got to see it. They do require supported pieces for an Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Mike Williams does end up being that guy coming off that ACL. Gibson's the speedy guy. We'll see how it does go. And then a Ty Conklin, low floor on the mid-level risk. I just think it's going to be Breece Hall and it's going to be Garrett Wilson in a very big way on Monday Night Football. Fire them up with heavy ounce of confidence. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on those Atlanta Falcons. Falcons ain't going to be no pushover on the defensive side with Judon, Simmons, Bates, just to name a few. Russell Wilson dealing with a calf issue, which means we could see a Justin Fields after all. I got Russell Wilson listed here on the mid-level. If it is Justin Fields, it's still going to be mid-level. Risk for me. I only will play a Justin Fields in Superflex leagues this week, but we know the rushing upside is definitely there, and they do got weapons here with a George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth that they can move the football. So for me, if it is Russell Wilson, okay, we'll see what he does. If it is Justin Fields, I'm okay playing him in my flex. Najee Harris on the mid-level risk. Jaylen Warren coming off his injury on the lower end mid-level risk for me. I'm playing Najee over Jaylen this week. When Najee cut some weight, looked a little bit more impressive. Hopefully the offensive line has improved in such that we can say, he's at least going to find more room to gallop. But this is a big final year for Najee Harris with the Steelers. If he doesn't show out, he's being shipped out. There is no question. George Pickens, high floor on the green. Just throw it in this man's direction. He will make plays. We know this. Doesn't matter if it is Wilson or Fields, but at least he should get better quarterback play than he had last year. Pickens going to have a very good year. Who do we trust as the secondary piece here? At wide receiver, Van Jefferson or a Calvin Austin III. Neither, man. Not this week. We got to see what they do. High-level risk for both these gentlemen. We got Roman Wilson, the rookie, who I believe in more to be better for this offense. He's dealing with that ankle since camp. He's still out, and he is not playing in this contest. Pat Freiermuth, the Muth, he will likely be the number 2 target in this offense outside of the, other pass catchers here. We could see a lot of catches for Najee and Jaylen Warren as well. But Pat Freiermuth, the only thing saving his day is going to be that TD upside, as Bates and Simmons should have him on the lockdown. San Francisco 49ers taking on those New York Jets. Like I said on Monday Night Football, Brock Purdy. They're lucky they got themselves Trent Williams back because that would have been bad for business. Brock Purdy on the mid-level risk versus Jets defense. I'm going to sit him. I don't like it. I think there are better options. Even though Brock has showcased the fact that he can play with anybody in this league, you know this Jets defense is ready to go, and I'm not trusting Brock this week. Christian McCaffrey on the injury risk. Still in the green. If he plays, you play him. It is CMC. But, I mean, dealing with a calf and Achilles all off season is not good, man. They used him so much last year, and we know that CMC is due for another injury. This could be a rough year for all y'all CMC owners. Hopefully he gets on the field and plays well. Jordan Mason on the mid-level risk, but I'm going to put it in the red only because if CMC plays, Mason won't see a lot of time. They could, err on the side of caution and do more splits this week. That's why I got him on the mid-level, but there is a lot of caution here for this one. Debo, low-level risk. Fire up Debo everywhere you got him because he's going to be the one to supplant a lot of carries for Christian McCaffrey. That's how I believe this one's going to go. A lot more volume rushing to a Debo. Help out the cause for CMC. Remove some touches from him where I think he's going to have a very good day. But Brandon Ayuk, mid-level risk. Could I say bench in Ayuk? I really can. He's likely facing Sauce this week. It might not turn out good, and you might see a very big low score on his stat line. So for me, play with caution. It's up to you. You got my recommendation. If it's me, I'm not expecting a whole heck of a lot from an Ayuk this week. Juwan Jennings, he's dealing with an injury as well. High-level risk. And George Kittle on the low-level risk. I think that's where you go. Debo and Kittle this week, I think, are the plays to be had with Ayuk and McCaffrey potentially not as much because of the injury for CMC, but if he is healthy, he will run the football quite a bit. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Denver Broncos. Geno, mid-level risk for me. I do still like this offense in Seattle. Geno showed that he can at least get you over 40 points last year, and he can move the football with high levels of regularity. I'm expecting the same. New coaching staff, no more Pete Carroll. We get this. So we'll see how it does go, man. Kenny Walker, the third low-level risk. He is shaved head and all like an Adrian Peterson. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Obviously, he is that good anyway, but fire him up everywhere you got him. Zach Charbonnet, high-level risk. Charbonnet not touching it this week as well. DK Metcalf on the low-level risk. Could have one of his best seasons like everyone's saying. I'm in full agreement of this. He is ready to explode, and I am all for a DK. Injury risk on the mid-level for a Tyler Lockett, but this is to the benefit of a Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm a huge Jackson Smith fan, always have been, and now is the time to roll with a JSN. Low-level risk for me. Fire up JSN everywhere you got him. I don't care. I'm taking the risk. I think it is absolutely going to happen this week, especially with Lockett hampered with that leg injury, and Noah Fant, I get it. It's a revenge game for him, but it's high-level risk for me. They don't use the tight end in Seattle until they tell me different. I am not playing it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, a bake show on the mid-level risk only because Washington's front seven is still very good. He should still be able to move the football around. This defense did add a lot of pieces on the open market, so it will be a lot tougher. New coaching staff, Pat Quinn is going to have this defense moving in the right direction, so mid-level risk for me for a Baker Mayfield. Rashad White, PPR upside on the low, even though I did have potential bust candidate this week on this last show. I'm going to still put him in the green because the PPR will save him a lot. This front seven's going to give him a lot of fits to run through, so hopefully he saves the day with a touchdown. But again, Bucky Irving is even coming into play. I got Bucky on a mid-level risk because they will utilize him that much more. I think they like the running upside of a Bucky Irving more than they do White, but White in the open field with the ball in his hand, he is absolutely money, so we'll see how it does go. We still play Rashad White. I get it. Bucky Irving is still a little bit too risky for me to play. Mike Evans on the low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Mr. Future Hall of Famer is going to cook again in this offense. Chris Godwin, PPR upside, mid-level risk for me. Definitely fire him up in your wide receiver 3 flex opportunities. Love that. Jaleel McMillan, this rookie, I love his game as well. So this could be a very interesting transition in this offense. Looking for that third wide receiver to help aid in this pass game with a Baker Mayfield. McMillan is one. Definitely you got to keep your eye on. Played at Washington with the Huskies, with a Penix, with an Adunzie, with a Polk. He's definitely schooled, and he knows how to play football. Kate Otten on the high-level risk. You're not playing that either this week. Tennessee Titans taking on the Chicago Bears. Okay, Will Levis, man, now it's time. Put up or shut up. You got your mayonnaise cologne. Can you put it on? Can you smell good on the field? Let's say it that way because I want to see it first, man. Mid-level risk, not touching it. I want to see it to believe it, and I think if he does play poorly versus the Bears, it's going to impact everybody on this offense like we know, man. Tony Pollard, mid-level risk, moved on from a Derrick Henry. Okay, did the Titans know something we don't after watching Henry on Monday Night Football? I still think Henry's got tread left on his tires as well. Tony Pollard, for me, mid-level risk. If you have to play him, play him. If not, look for better options. Tajay Spears, we got to understand how this offense is going to move with a Pollard, with a Spears. I think we're going to see a lot of splits, very much heavy, hot hands. Very tough to, at least understand, but Tony Pollard's going to have the first kick at the can. So for me this week, if you got Tony, you need to play him over a Tajay. DeAndre Hopkins on the injury risk. He's playing, or he was recovering from a torn MCL. So I'd be shocked, even if he does suit up in this contest, more of a decoy than anything, and that's okay because you got a guy like Calvin Ridley, so I'm playing Ridley this week over a D-Hop, over a Tyler Boyd. I got injury risk on D-Hop, not touching it. Mid-level to a good sizable volume role for a Calvin Ridley, even though the Bears are improving defensively as well. Calvin Ridley he's a veteran. He understands how to play these guys. You just got to hope that Will Levis can get him the football, hence why I got all these guys on the mid-level risk, because Will Levis definitely has his work cut out for him. Tyler Boyd, high-level risk. If D-Hop sits, you kick Tyler Boyd up to a mid-level because he will see PPR upside. And then Okonkwo, high-level risk, not touching that this week either. Finishing off with these Washington Commanders, the Commies, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This offense should be wonderful to watch. I hated the fact they traded Jahan out of this offense. Y'all be crazy, but okay. Jaden Daniels, rookie rush upside again this week for another one of these quarterbacks. He can throw the football, though. He will tempt the football down the field. I mean, there's going to be mistakes to be had. There's going to be interceptions, missed throws, but the rushing upside and the ability that he can actually get it down the field, you actually can play a Jaden Daniels this week, but definitely temper your expectations. I would say if he does not score any rushing TDs, could be 12 points. If he does score rushing TDs, you're up in the 18s to the 21s. So definitely keep your tabs on that one, but Jaden Daniels, definitely a good one. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, mid-level risks for me. Play both of them. I think they're going to run the football a lot, even though this defense is very stout on Tampa Bay in the front seven. You can play both these gentlemen. They will run the football. Austin Eckler will be utilized as that PPR guy, hence probably why they said, okay, we can get rid of a Jahan Dotson, use Austin Eckler as that role, and I think that's kind of what they're going to do. Scary Terry McLaurin on the low-level risk, but I'm going to put him in the medium just because Tampa Bay's defense will come with the bum rush on Jaden Daniels. So we'll see. His name faded me. Sorry, but Terry McLaurin, you can absolutely fire him up. I think he's going to have one of his best seasons. Finally, with a quarterback that can get him the football, it is going to be fun. Diami Brown, boomer bust in the high-level risk. No more Jahan Dotson. You got Olamide Zaccheaus on the high-level risk as well. Not touching these guys. There are far better options until we understand how this distribution of target share is going to happen at this point. Diami is only deeper leagues, maybe boomer bust play. I am not doing it this week. Zach Ertz on the PPR upside, and they do got Ben Sinnett, so we could see a lot of, 12-man personnel, double tight end sets if you guys don't know, and I mean, we could see Zach Ertz, Ben Sinnett on the line. Lots of rushing upside, control the clock, hit it deep downfield to a Scary Terry, dump-offs to an Austin Eckler. Abso-freaking-lutely, we could see this week versus these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. But there you have it. That is week one start sit. It is a mouthful, but I got you guys covered every single week. Like I mentioned, hit that like button and drop your start sit questions in the comments. I will definitely get back to y'all. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Good luck, and we'll see you next time. I am out.